it seems that everybody already has their license, or at least some account. But this is more going to tackle on how do you get Matlab installs on your desktop. So this is desktop based. So the agenda of this part is going to be individual use, the end user workflow, how to use it, using Portal with Matlab. So how do you get individual access for everyone? And then some of the tasks that your administrator will have to do when you're handling Matlab. There are also choices in Matlab for shared or lab environments. For example, if you have a laboratory or classrooms that you want to just have one license instead of having concurrent licenses, or instead of having multiple individual licenses on a lab, you just want one. Or if you have a designated computer. And there are also other license options and resources that you might want to look. So for individual use, the main way to distribute Matlab is going to be through the portal. You just have to send the portal through to anybody who wants to use it. So give end users the access to it. And the user can just sign in to get started on the campus-wide license. And once they have their university email, log into your university, create the MathWorks account, and then complete the profile form, and then download their version of Matlab that they wish to use. And so it's as simple as that. Once you have a MathWorks account, it should be easy to associate your license to the university. The installation is going to be done by the university, by the page, and Matlab will automatically check that you are part of the activation licensed by your administrator. The activation just requires that you are verified, and you just have to check in to your university login. So users just have 3 steps. 1, associate, install, and activate. And all of those are automatic as long as you follow the steps laid out by your administrator. There are other things to consider. For example, if you have installed or activated it on a computer, you can just start your Matlab. And then automatically, when the license expires, you can just reactivate it after. So moving on to shared and lab environments, these are, for example, if you have classrooms or maraming gumagamit ng isang PC, you can just share it. You can set just one license for the whole room or for the whole group instead of having to add individual licenses. Right, so it's just one license that's connected. So to install the license manager, so the first thing that you would have to do if you have a concurrent license, which is ideal for labs and classrooms, is to install the license manager on a server and then install Matlab on each client computer. When users on client computers start Matlab, they just talk to the license server and then get the license. And then for all license, your single license server can hold about 10,000 seats. So it's recommended that server activations are just limited as much as possible. So if possible, if all the computers are in just one network, it's ideal if isa lang po yung license server. And if a concurrent license server is in use, you can just reactivate Matlab license. To activate just the license server, you can just go to the License Center, which is a web page on MathWorks. So it's licensecenter.mathworks.com. you can go to the concurrent section and then begin to create your first application. You can just click the buttons here and provide a host ID, so you activate the PC that the license server will be in. Then you can activate the license server by installing MATLAB onto that PC. For designated computer, for example, if it's a very specific PC that will not be moved and has to be run on its own, you can set the designated computer license, and then you can just install it as if it's any other MATLAB install. You just have to perform the activation on the license center. You just have to do it, but only administrators can create designated computers. In terms of additional license options, you also do have MATLAB Parallel Server. So this is a service in MATLAB wherein you can scale up your computation. So if your users are performing high-performance computing, for example, simulations of energy systems, or finite element analysis, or some wireless scenario modeling, you can perform all of that within MATLAB. And the problem is kumakain siya ng processing and then kumakain siya ng memory. So if meron po kayong clusters, or if may access kayo sa Amazon Web Services or sa Azure, you can create clusters on the cloud and then run your jobs to those clouds, so that your PCs and your laptops are freed up to do more work. So MATLAB Parallel Server is part of the licenses that are part of the campus-wide license. If you already have previous MATLAB installs, you can just reactivate it so that you can connect it to your campus-wide license. You can just rerun the installer and then select the campus-wide license when connecting to the internet. And if ever your license expires, or if your MATLAB activation expires a lot of every semester, the administrator might choose to limit the installation. So what happens is you'll be generating a file identification key, or FIK, and then that installation key is going to last only for 1 year. So automatically all the activations that is issued for the semester can be stopped, and you'll see a notice of 15 days before the expiration date, and you can just let it expire, or you can activate it then. And you can do it by within MATLAB, so it doesn't automatically stop you, but it will launch an activation client. So for additional resources, for the administrator, you can just log into the license center and export the license data, as well as you'll get the end users can get MATLAB releases, documentation, bug reports, and then our technical and installation support. If you ever have issues on installation, a lot of the FAQs are posted on the web. Also, you can change email domains. So, for example, I know that a lot of universities divide each domain by college. So, if you have a specific email domain for the College of Engineering, for example, coe.bulsu.edu.ph, you might want to add that domain, and it's allowed. Right, so for example, you can just manage the users and then change what email domains are allowed. So if you want to limit it specifically to the College of Engineering, you might want to add the So the administration tasks have been not severely, have been greatly reduced. So you only have to link the campus-wide license portal to your students or your faculty. You don't have to remove users at once. You just have to you just have to limit the activation whenever you start. You don't really have to set the activation keys as the users can self-associate. And then you can administrate, and concurrent license is not administered by the campus-wide license administrator. And so all of these are relatively simple. You just checking it can just be done from the website. So I know that a lot of us here are faculty, so I will not dwell a lot more on it. At this point, may questions po ba regarding installation, or may issues po ba kayo or concerns regarding possible na errors na na-encounter nyo during installation, or things na hindi kayo sure about the install? System specs ng Matlab. For system specs ng Matlab, I think what we require is about 100. If I recall correctly, it'll depend on what parts of Matlab you install, because Matlab works via a toolbox session. So I think I can look at here. Right, so I think base Matlab has a requirements page here. I'll link na lang po yung page sa chat. And really, it takes Windows 10 and Windows 11. There's no minimum processor, but of course, with anything, the faster the better. But it can run, I think ang minimum lang namin is 4 gig. Especially for very high calculations, we do recommend 8 gig, but it can run on 4. Storage, depends po kung anong klaseng anong toolboxes yung idadagdag. So, for basic Matlab, as in yung bare bones Matlab, it's just 3.6 gig. But in typical installation with a few toolboxes, it's about 5 to 8. And then it's about 31.5 gigs for a full product installation. So, ito po yung part na lahat ng toolboxes nakalagay. So it'll just depend on what you do. My other questions pa po ba? Okay, I think wala ng questions. If you do have questions, you can just unmute yourself. Sir. Yeah, so there's a question on pwede po bang gumamit ng lower versions ng Matlab during our training. For the training po later, ang gagamitin ay web browser lang po. So, we found po kasi na pag gumagamit ng Matlab saka ng Zoom at the same time, marami pong processors yung nahihirapang sumabay kasi may iba't ibang settings. So ang gagamitin po natin is yung online training suite. Dadaanan ko lang po siya so that we can answer a few of the questions. And then standardized na po yun. So magiging equal po lahat nung speeds natin. or at least magiging equal yung versions na gagamitin. Thank you for that question. Let me just pause my screen first and then switch to the last section of our of onboarding. So the last section of the onboarding program is the online tools that will be accessible to you with the campus-wide license. So the agenda is how do we provide anytime and anywhere access to the campus-wide license. And then what are the available Matlab curriculum resources that are provided to you. So this is just a intro of the reason that we developed these tools is because with the transition from face-to-face learning to distance learning, a lot of the learnings for students have shifted to more of the online way. So the campus-wide license has been augmented to adopt that. So I've already mentioned that with the campus-wide license, you get to install Matlab on your desktop for all students and faculty. But what's added has been the online access tool, which is a MathWorks cloud, as well as self-paced online learning, which is for teaching students or training or getting them up to speed without sacrificing semester time. As well as automatic grade homework, right? So if you're running an LMS, you can incorporate Matlab. Part of the use of Matlab is also the low-cost hardware. So we've already discussed how you get Matlab for desktops. But for many of you, as well as for many of your students, I imagine not everybody has very fast PCs. Especially for engineering and the types of computations that that the field requires. Marami po yung natatagalan mag-run ng codes. And then when that happens, or may mga students na walang access sa PC nila constantly, or hindi sila pwedeng mag-iwan lang ng laptop na nag-run. And for that, we have a solution in Matlab Online. So Matlab Online is a browser-based instance of Matlab that just allows you to access it without having to install or download anything. Alright, so Matlab Online is for downloading is without download, and you can just go to matlab.mathworks.com. It's connected via Matlab Drive, so if you have the Drive Connector app in your desktop, you can access your files on the go. It's also connected to your mobile, and then you can access hardware that's connected to either device through the Matlab Drive connection. Sharing in Matlab Drive is easy. You can just manage the members, and then or create a link if you want to distribute it to your students. So let me go through here. Actually, it's changed a bit, so let me just skip this video. To my page here. So let me go to my Google and type in Matlab Online. And often the first link, whether you're using Microsoft Bing or Google, is the same. It'll redirect you to Matlab Online, and I can just click on start using Matlab Online here, and just log in using my account. And this is a start page that was introduced about last year. So you'll see here some online training and some help centers and the recent files that you see. But here we're just opening Matlab Online. And what Matlab Online is just the latest version of Matlab running on MathWorks Cloud. So hindi siya gumagamit ng processor ko. Ang kailangan lang niya is stable-ish na internet connection. I think 1 Mbps yung recommended. So here you'll see that I can access the files that I have and run some basic Matlab code. Right, this is a live script. Actually, let me go to the book. Right, so this is a live script. You'll see my text and then my code here. And then yung output niya is nara-run independently. If I ever wanted to, if you want to look at what Matlab in desktop looks like, it looks like this. And you'll see that it's very similar to the online version, right? Right, so it's not going to be able to run for over 24 hours, but for classes where you just want students to be able to have access to Matlab, it's very useful. Let me go back to my slides. We also do have an Iot Analytics Platform called ThinkSpeak. It's already connected to your MathWorks account. You can just go to thinkspeak.com. And it's just allowing you to access data from your smart devices. The second part we want to highlight is the self-paced online training. So there are 13 courses available for free to anybody at matlabacademy.mathworks.com. But with your campus-wide license, what you get are an additional 11 courses that target skills needed for students and for education, right? So a lot of it is for using Matlab in nonlinear equations, ODEs, which is very useful for things like finite element analysis or some numerical analysis. There's also symbolic math because Matlab has a very robust symbolic math toolbox, as well as more in-depth courses that focus on programming skills such as fundamentals, programming techniques, visualization, and the AI platform. So all of the 11 courses that are bundled with your campus-wide license cost about 25,000 pesos per student, but it's already bundled with your campus-wide license. So I do recommend that you try out these courses. In fact, to get you started on this, we'll go through the Matlab on-ramp in the afternoon session. So we'll try to finish the Matlab on-ramp in the later session this afternoon, and we'll try to get through it to get you a feel on how to use Matlab. And then for teaching with Matlab, we do have a course that is on how do you use Matlab to make your classes more interactive when it's online, and how do you get them to be more effective. So let me show you what the academic online training suite looks like. So again, let me open a page here. And let me just Google MATLAB Academy. The first link will always be here. And here I can choose the course that I would like to view. Right, so here you'll see that I've already finished the first course, but I can jump to any of this course, any of the modules, and then just get started. And what this does is it creates a alternate version of Matlab Online that has a task pane. So you'll see this is a Matlab Online session. It's connected to a task pane that tells me what to do. So here I can just add a code, a quick code snippet to learn. And I can just submit to check if I got the answer correct, right? And then I can just follow along with this. And then if ever I finish the course, I can get a certificate that I can then link into, add to my LinkedIn or share on Facebook or print it as a automatic certificate. In total, you have access to, I think, 23 courses that are part of your campus-wide license. And this one is already taken by a lot of companies as proof that you know how to use MATLAB. And the way that a lot of educators do is that they'll get their students to take the MATLAB on-ramp and then just submit the certificate so that at least you're confident that the student knows how to use MATLAB, basically. In those cases, you can get access to it, whichever, just through the browser, right? So all of this is based on the browser. You don't have to install it. Your students don't have to install it. You just need a MathWorks account. So let me go back to my slides. And then you can create courses with MATLAB. And by courses, I mean just use MATLAB as a tool in your teaching. If you are just getting started with MATLAB, you don't have to start from scratch. You don't have to redo your whole curriculum. A lot of the courseware created by other professors that use MATLAB is available in MathWorks.com in this link. Let me go to MATLAB courseware. And really, it's just a page that collates all of the materials already created by other professors. So if, for example, I'm teaching mechanical engineering, you'll see here that there are complete curriculums that have already been created by other professors. There's also videos that discuss how to perform specific calculations in MATLAB, the tools that have been created, such as Arduino-based laboratories, as well as a problem repository in Matlab Grader. There are also textbooks that have been created for with MATLAB as a basis. Okay, so let me go back to my slides. And to the last point, which is Matlab Grader, we are discussing transitioning from traditional grading to just automatic grading. So similar to the Matlab academic online training suite, Matlab Grader is a way to create courses that are specific to your subject matter. So we have to transition from just the PDFs where students have to send files back and then you have to run it to Matlab Grader. And with Matlab Grader, it's just interactive course assignments, automatic student feedback, and then applying it to your LMS. So with Matlab Grader, it's a matter of, let me just go back to Matlab Grader. Matlab Grader. So here you'll see that there's a Getting Started tab, which is just contains a guided tour, which takes you through the parts of it, how to use Matlab Grader automatically, and then a 2-hour self-paced training called Teaching with Matlab. So you'll see you can add courses here, create a course that has specific values, that has a specific name. You can limit when the course starts to when it ends. So for example, I can start the course tomorrow, end it, let's say, on October. When the semester ends, I can select which products of Matlab to include. So for example, if I'm working on the antenna toolbox, because I expect them to be able to use to create antennas, and then I'll say this course is about, and then I can add images so that we can be more familiar with it. Or I can add equations so that students can have more easy interpretations here. So here you can just add via LaTeX. So save here. And then you can add assignments. So these are about weekly assignments that you can send, or you can change when students are able to access it. So for example, if at the first week I want to start the course, and then I want to give them a week, I can just end it at 29th. I can set how many submissions there is, and then I can provide the text that I would want them to learn about. So I can provide links that where the lessons are found, or I can add images, or I can just explain all of that I want them to learn in this page here. And then for the assignment, since they have to submit, I have to add a problem. And I can either create a blank problem that is very simple, or I can access a collection of problems already created. So here I can just look at the Matlab fundamentals, and I can just copy it. You'll have access to a much more robust collection of problems. You just have to inquire to us if you would like to get access to that. Let me go back to my assignment here and add a problem. So here I can add a blank problem. I can change the title of the problem, solving numerical equations. I can add the description, add some files, and choose the script. And here I can just put in a reference solution and set what kind of problems I would want them to, assessment I would have to see here. So here I can either check if a variable is very specific to it and allow students to see what the feedback will be. Right, so a lot of control on the problems that you have, and you just have to get started. Let me get back here to my slides. So Matlab Grader works very similar to the Maot, and then All of the features is part with a MATLAB license, up-to-data export. You can invite students, invite instructors, author your own content, export your data. But with a campus-wide license, the analytics is fully functional. You have access to a very large collection of problems, as well as LMS integration into any, or learning management system integration into any kind of LTI compliant system. So for learning analytics, you do have access to macros, such as you see how many students have solved, not solved, where they submit, how many submissions it requires to pass, as well as for those who have not solved it, where do they go wrong, how many submissions have they attempted, as well as micro analytics, where you get access to all the solutions submitted so that you can see a particular student's answers and see where they're getting it wrong. So in summary, with the campus-wide license, online tools, you get anytime, anywhere access to your Matlab, as well as the online curriculums resources helping to make it easier to teach Matlab or teach with Matlab with your campus-wide license. So at this point, I'd like to point you to the educators page in the portal. You'll see here, Teach with Matlab, and you'll see all of the resources that I mentioned in this section, in this page. If you have any questions that you would need answered, you can go to MATLAB Central and ask. A lot of my colleagues and me do spend time trying to answer some of the questions. If you need additional services, we do such as training or consultancy. If you're developing research products or looking for more hands-on training, we do support that. If you have issues in installation or errors that you can't troubleshoot, you can reach out to us. At this point, has there been any questions that is not clear? Okay, I think so far wala pang questions. All right. If we don't have questions po, I think we can break this onboarding session. And then we'll reconvene at, we'll reconvene at 3 p.m. po, so that we can get started on the MATLAB workshop. So if you are attending the MATLAB workshop at this this afternoon or mamayang 3 p.m., you can go to MATLAB Academy. Sorry. Kung wala pa po kayong MathWorks account, you can just sign up by clicking the button here and go to the Matlab on-ramp. So dadaanan lang po natin yung Matlab on-ramp for the session later, and we'll try to finish it in the time allotted. So if wala na pong questions, I think we can end here. Please do make sure na meron na po kayong access dun sa Matlab on-ramp by 3 p.m. If wala na pong questions, I'll pass this back to Camille and for outro of this session.
Hi everyone, thank you for joining this session. I hope you have learned on how you can have an access to the software. So again, we would like to share with you your portal. It's where you can have an access to the software and all of its resources. And also we will be having another session later. It's the basic MATLAB workshop by 3 p.m. So I hope to see you all again on our activity later. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Hello po, ma'am.
Hello, Sir
Ma'am Camille.
Donald.
Hello
Hello,
po, ma'am
yes,
Camille.
sir.
Ma'am, tanong ko lang po yung link na susundin namin po mamaya, yung bago, yung, di ba dalawa po yung sinend nyo? O tutuloy na lang dito?
Another link po siya, sir.
Sige po. Sisend ko po yung bagong link ngayon sa mga faculty po.
Okay, sige sir. I will be sharing it on the chat box din po. So kung sino man po yung gusto mag-attend later, pwede po silang mag-attend doon.
Okay po. Send ko naman po yung link. Thank you po.
Okay, thank you very much, Sir Donald. Thank you, everyone.